supposedly a transition year for Duke, having graduated O'Neal and Williams and Zawada on attack, but find themselves here at 7-1 and only having lost a 1-goal game to Princeton. Interestingly, though, with the transfers for Duke, 4 of their first 6 offensive guys will go out after this year. So they're going to be a team in transition again next year.
We're set for the matchup at the X. Jared Chenoy for Richmond in there. He is close to breaking school records in some categories, but this faceoff is won by Luke Engelke, and he pulls that one out, and the Blue Devils are underway on the offensive attack.
And that's something we'll be watching the entire game. Duke uses
of it. Zach Big has been outstanding for Richmond in the cage, but Duke takes an early 1-0 advantage. Now Chenoy rips one out. Chenoy transitioning quickly. He'll fire, and he'll answer at the other end. Jared Chenoy, who had missed the first 4 games of the season, back in action in the Cornell game, and shows what he can do quickly.
It's made a huge difference. Obviously, his coming back from an early season injury, and there where the face-offs for Richmond have improved steadily since he's been back. And in the last game of the game before, he made the exact same play. And it's funny, I come out here before the games and watch the teams warm up, and he's practicing that play, picking up the face-off, picking up the ground ball off the face-off and running in and taking that shot. So he's been a weapon for them.
Well, coming into today, Dom, he needed 10 more ground balls to break the school record at 290. I think Brendan Hines held that. So give him one more today, and now he ties the game at 1.
We won't jinx him, but if he stays healthy, I think that one's going to be broken.
2 who have taken a lot of draws this year for Duke, and now Engelke comes out with it. Quickly to the offensive attack, and a shot, and another Duke goal, this time from Eric Mulver. And Duke takes a 3-0 advantage here.
That faceoff guy coming down, and the defensive end there, you really want to hold on those attackmen, but the temptation to slide even late to the faceoff guy creates that space for Oliver on the side, on the wing.
So Oliver, the Maryland transfer, who had 111 points in his Maryland career, picks up goal number 20 for Duke, and the Devils out in front now 3-1. Cloudy day here on this 50-degree afternoon. A lot of folks making their way in right toward the start of the game, and still a few folks milling about.
It'll be interesting again to watch Duke as this go forward.
Richmond tallied here to pull to within 1. Billings out there right now on the wing on the faceoff. Chenoy's got another one. And Chenoy will circle back. Let Richmond get set up here. Change out a couple of guys. Another good job from Chenoy. We figure that faceoff matchup today is probably going to be just so we're even at 3 apiece.
That'll help their extra man percentage.
Face-off violation.
Another win for Chenoy. Graduate when they make that kind of progress, but it's great to see him do that. Another ground ball for Chenoy.
Slow Dunham down and give Sloat. He doesn't need much room, and he got it eventually there.
Just create a little bit of space for Sloat.
Another violation gives Richmond the possession now.
Not afraid to match up to some of these things, and so we'll see whether or not it has an effect over the course of the game.
And Chenoy takes out another face-off win. Got Cal Girard that time, who takes it back from him, however. And now some rough contact brings a flag. Might be on Chenoy.
So they start the second quarter with Girard on the face-off, and so it'll be interesting to see whether or not they're going to go rotate by quarters or what they're going to do. But Chenoy wins the draw on that face-off to go with.
You mentioned Duke's schedule. Richmond played last Saturday against UMBC, but they had a stretch similar to that where they were playing a lot of games in the week before.
They did exactly right. And here's the other side of this is that pulls, and that's what happens. You can't rotate fast enough to keep up with the ball. And they redirected the ball on that one there, which creates even a little bit more of an issue.
So Blake's picked up a couple goals today, now has 8 for the season. Meanwhile, Chenoy wins for Richmond off to Merklinger. And the Spiders now will set up. Aiden O'Neal trying to get in close. Back again to Merklinger here on the near side.
Geez, it looked like Chenoy had a
And the Richmond defense was 6th in the nation, allowing that number of goals per game. So it's being tested today with Duke having 6 already here in the first half.
And we talked about balanced scoring with Blake having 3. You would think that isn't so balanced, but it's what I was referring to was having some other people step up besides effective facing off. And so if he can get the ball back for Richmond, then it's harder for the other team to go on a run, obviously. And so that one statistic of the faceoffs in the first half was a little bit of a surprise. And then Girard was very good in the first half.
Well, they're scrambling for this one between he and Ben McCarthy. And Chenoy bats it ahead, scoops it out. Gets another ground ball credit with that. That gives him 6 for this. Olsen wins that matchup. So Richmond's within 1. Another violation. So Richmond's got it. And remember that, we talked about this third quarter being the one that the Blue Devils have been dominant against their opponents as far as shooting is concerned, but early on even. And Richmond now out shooting Duke 6-0 here in the third. And Chenoy wins another.
I think Duke is now scratching, trying to find the right guy to face off against Chenoy. I think whatever pattern they might have had, or whatever plan they might have had going in.
Quarter with a 1-goal advantage. And, we're looking at this series, and I mentioned it earlier, at Duke leading at 8-1, but 3 of Duke's 7 wins have come by a single goal. Richmond's win was a 2-goal win, and Duke has won the others by an average of 7.2 goals. So we look like we're going to be in the close game category today so far, Dom.
It certainly feels that way.
Back to the X. Chenoy has been outstanding there today. This time, Spiders got it at the last minute. Over to Aiden O'Neill. And their opponents all year, but they've still been able to hold Richmond at that 2-goal after the Spiders tied it. And Chenoy trying to get another win, can't come up with this one. Engelke pulls it out of there for Duke.
And we talked a little bit about how the zone can be effective, but at the same time, I can say Duke is Richmond has kind of carried the play here in the third quarter, and so I'm a little surprised that they would take that zone posture on defense.
Well, and Blake has 4 goals today off of that second midfield. Duke's had guys. Sloat's had 5 goals in a game. Ben Johnson's had 5 goals. 2 offenses just for today. Duke's been able to create a little bit more than what Richmond's been able to so far. And the Spiders done a good job in getting back and tying it up. But
you would describe these two teams. You describe Duke as being a little bit more athletic, a little bit stronger and a little quicker in a lot of different spots. And you're seeing that again, especially at the end of the shot clock when they're going harder to the goal.
Trying to make that stop, but Duke now takes a 10-6 advantage. Chenoy comes away with a face-off win. That's the 30 now to 27 for Duke. Each side with 17 on cage, and it's now a 3-goal game. Chenoy trying to win the face-off. Another Duke violation.
Tell you what, if they gave him ground balls for all those one technical face-off.
Gavin Creo's 6th of the season. Nice to see him put one in. Richmond back within 2. And Chenoy pulls out another one. Chenoy's got open room to work here. He's going to fire this one. He scores! Jared Chenoy, 2nd goal of the game, pulls the Spiders within 1.
And now does he go back and take the next face-off, or is he headed to the bench?
Chenoy, right from the start, took it away from Ben McCarthy. They left him alone.
You're looking at Richmond's MVP so far in this game, right there.
We're going to go to a timeout. Duke takes the timeout. A 1-goal game again. Richmond down by 1, 10-9. We're going to be back with more of this fourth quarter action this afternoon with 10-12 still to play.
I think Duke helped Richmond with that timeout. Chenoy picks up that last ground ball, has to make an extended run to the goal, scores the goal. Like I was saying to you, was he going to come out and take that next faceoff or head to the bench? If Duke had won that faceoff, because Chenoy was either spent or not taking the faceoff, then you call your timeout. But I think you're giving Chenoy a little bit of a break here.
Another technical. And the 5'9" face-off specialist out of Fort Lauderdale has caused Duke a lot of problems today. Jim scrambling around. And look who gets involved for Duke. Aiden McGuire swoops in from the wing to save the day for the Blue Devils, and now a tie game.
McGuire pilling these short stick D middies that play the wool. Maliver coming. He's not really that strong a dodger. He's just a very complete attackman. It softens up Richmond on defense, a little bit of a gap where they're coming halfway to help out. They want to help out Packard, and it creates space on the inside.
Spiders get the face off. Stull comes out with it.
A little spent on defense. You know, Chenoy's been winning the faceoffs. The ball's been down this end a lot. We talked about what they've gone through here, and
that's a big win for McCarthy.
Critical faceoff right there.
Big win for Duke. Now, Duke has done this all day today. Richmond's tied it. Duke has pushed back.
Richmond needs to stop.
And now we're back to the X again. Another violation. Well, Chenoy has really caused problems now. The things that we talk about all the time, Don.
How about this faceoff?
This faceoff is crucial to say the least. And it's Chenoy with the win. And that ground ball may set the program record for him. More importantly now, Richmond gets possession.
Get in the box and call a timeout. Run.
Yeah, Stull's got to get this thing in there.
Run, son, run.
Stull even at 12 apiece between Duke and Richmond. And a second overtime coming up, along with Dom Starsha and the rest of our crew. Robert Fish here with presentation for you today. You know, you talked earlier about Duke playing so many games this past week. This is probably the last thing that John Danowski wants to see right now is a 2 overtime game for his team after as many games as they've played leading into this one.
Yep. Pilling, Chenoy, Stull. It's been the face-off unit for Richmond. That's what they come out with.
A real scramble for this possession now. And finally, Duke has it. It is McGuire, and McGuire buries it. Aiden McGuire comes up with the huge ground ball off the face-off and takes it down to the other end and puts it in and puts Duke on top to end this one.
Yeah, painful for the Spiders, but what a great game. We were treated to some of the best lacrosse, high-level stuff, big plays being made by both teams.
Aiden McGuire had a heck of a game today, and this scramble for the face-off, and McGuire scrambling to come up with this. It's picked up actually by Krause, and then McGuire goes to the other end and is able to beat Zach Vigue in a tough loss for Richmond and a big win for the Duke Blue Devils as they win it right at the start of the second overtime, 13-12.
And the mistake, if you want to call it that, is being caught up going up.